My son was in grade school. I thought, you know what, I could see Olivet having a hockey program someday. So it didn't really go anywhere, and it just, that resonated with me that, you know what, I think this could really happen if I just took it to the next step at Olivet. I had set up a meeting with Woody Webb, who at that time was the Vice President of Student Development, and I called Bjorn the day before my meeting with Woody.
Don't take any photos right now. No, this isn't a camera. I gotta tell you funny.
As an interesting situation, I had been a youth coach and then a high school coach for, I don't know, maybe 12 years or so. And I got let go from my last position and really wasn't given much of a reason why. Didn't really know what was going on. Didn't know if I needed to keep coaching or not.
He wasn't asked back to coach by getting called from players that none of us knew that he wasn't going to coach again. And he had kind of made a commitment to these players. So that was very shocking. And then I watched him, he was depressed. He was very disappointed. Like, what in the world? I thought this is what God had for me.
And Bjorn at the time was coaching the high school team. And he's the only person that I know coached hockey. And he was an Olivet guy. So I called Bjorn. And if you ever met Bjorn, you know he's never lost for words. So I called Bjorn and I said, hey, I'm pitching the idea of hockey again to Olivet tomorrow. If they say yes, I need you to coach. And I don't hear a thing. I have this I was in the driveway at my house in Columbus, Ohio, and he doesn't say a thing. I'm like, did I drop the call? I go, Bjorn, are you there? He goes, yeah. He goes, I just found out that the high school program doesn't want me to coach anymore, so I suppose I'm available.
And so I really said, well, let me pray about that. I don't know if this is a avenue God wants me to pursue or not. I didn't have any kids playing, and I just didn't know what God's plan was. But as I prayed about it, I really felt like it was the right thing, and so jumped on board with that, and it's been just a huge blessing because coaching in the world, you're not as free to talk about God. Coaching at Olivet, I get to talk about it all the time, which is the greatest blessing. So it's been awesome.
First, what was your first interaction with Coach?
Oh, he's crazy, man. He's crazy. First time I met him, it was my visit to Olivet, and they were like, they said I was gonna be the hockey coach, so I'm expecting some tall guy in a suit, super professional, and I think he was wearing cargo shorts to his ankles and a bright green neon shirt.
Yeah, he was awesome. I could tell right away that he was full of energy, he was full of life. I remember when we first had a conversation, he didn't understand the first question I asked him, which was about how academic leniency would work. And Jeff ended up stepping in and letting me know how that would work. But he just seemed like a very fun, lovable guy from the beginning. He cared really much about the team and the players that he had, but he also had a goal with winning in mind, but also outside of that, growing us as men outside the sport.
He's a teacher and a coach, and when he coaches, he's teaching, and even when he's preaching, he's teaching. So I knew when our kids started playing and he wanted to coach, I knew that quickly this is a natural role for him. He prays for each of the players, but he has, this year has specific verses for them that he regularly prays over their life. No, I don't know if any coaches do that, let alone you'll never find a hockey coach that does that. And then when he'll meet with them, he'll talk very specifically about them. So I think that he's learned to be very much more intentional in showing his care.
He's a great coach. He doesn't coach by yelling or getting in your face or degrading you. He knows everyone's potential and he wants the best from you. He's also a very calming presence because we can get into it in the game and get really aggressive, and he won't yell. He'll just sit you down, have a nice conversation with you, and tell you what you're doing right, tell you things you need to work on. So it's great. I wouldn't want to play for anyone else.
I think he's a great guy. A lot of guys, when they think of a coach, it's almost like a guy you're scared of. But now with him, he's so easy to approach and ask questions. So it makes you feel like you want to learn stuff. So it's been great.
We're part of the ACHA, which is the American Collegiate Hockey Association. So there's some programs in the ACHA that are pretty much like club. They're student run.
And it's a very costly sport. Ice time is usually anywhere from $350 to $450 an hour. And so just to practice, you're shelling out lots and lots of money.
I mean, we buy our own sticks, we buy like chest pad, elbow pads, the pants, shin pads, and skates. So, I mean, sticks nowadays are like $300 each, and I mean, we break a lot. I think personally I went through 9 last year, just brutal.
Each player pays $2,500 to play, so that would probably be the biggest difference in athletics. And as of right now, there is no athletic scholarships for that. It's all based on academic scholarships. I love seeing how God has provided everything this team has ever needed going into year 4 without any university money. So there's a part of me that I just find great joy in watching God provide.
The first season was like treading water to hope that everyone makes it through the season not dead.
I probably didn't sleep the night through for 6 months. We just didn't have enough players, and some guys were on the fence of coming, some guys weren't, we just couldn't get the commitment.
Christian hockey at the college level is not a real big thing. Telling kids that you're not going to be able to party when they're hockey players, that's kind of a downer for the hockey guys out there. Was able to use a lot of relationships and go to guys that I had coached in high school and see if they wanted to come back and play. A lot of those guys did, and we got some bites from some other areas, and we were able to barely put a roster together for that first year.
We had a core group of guys here in the community that I call them the founding fathers of ONU hockey. That they went through a really rough first season, as most programs do in their first year.
And like every game was like a bloodbath, like injuries, people just getting destroyed, like losing a lot of games. Like we were getting beat like 18-0 at times, just because like we were a new team.
Going to games and we would lose 18-2, but not like imploding or turning on each other, or going to a team when you're like that. Like I think we played ISU, we found out that they cut like 19 kids. So they cut more kids than were even on our bench. Like, oh, this isn't fair. But doing that and like having so many things stacked against you and then being able to stick together, I think it just made them develop maturity and also create such good culture.
So the majority of the guys have been humble and coachable. So we've seen a tremendous development in them, not only skill-wise, but also character-wise. And so we are able to go out and play games and compete with teams where the players have a much better resume than we do. They played at higher levels than we do, but we come out there and we're not only competitive, but we beat a lot of them. And it's all that development and it's all that maturity. And so that's the biggest difference. So we do have some more players, but as the players get on the right track and as the older players have an influence on them, they start learning our game and they start being humble and they start working hard and they start getting in the gym, they put on weight and they get tougher, and you see that, and it's exciting and encouraging to see that out of the guys.
If I just take myself out and just watch the game, they're like, wow, like it's impressive. They're incredible. They're huge, they're fast, they're strong, they're throwing people around. But then I go to the gym and there's a song, they're singing Miley Cyrus in the gym, and then they're like dancing or they're smacking each other. And I'm like, oh, they're just little boys. But they seem to like, they'll yell at each other at the right times. Even when they're goofing around, I know that there's nobody in that weight room that's not gonna put in the work.
I have had more fun on this team than I have in any team I've ever played with. I've been a part of many teams. I've bounced around different club programs throughout my hockey career, but I can by far say that without a shadow of a doubt, this is the most fun and family-like team I've ever played on. From the late night practices that don't get done till 12 a.m. to the far road trips for whether it's Texas or Florida or even the away games in Iowa, to even just getting out to hang out with the boys in Ludwig. I mean, it's so fun, and I couldn't be prouder and happier to be part of this program.
I mean, we're a weird group. We're a weird, funny group. Everyone's super close. Like there's a lot of teams will have like kind of cliques, like oh, like these are like the cool kids, and like the quiet ones, like there's no cliques. Everyone's a teammate. We'll have like a senior first liner who scores all the goals and a freshman that barely plays, and they'll just be messing with each other and no one cares. Like there's no like hierarchy.
It's fine. Tommy sucks anyway.
Wow, thanks, AC.
He's literally fine. He's faking it.
It's green helmet day.
Are the players making you happy too? Are they playing better?
They rarely make me happy. I just had a good day.
All right, tell me why is it called Showtime?
Because he plays just like the late great Patrick Kane.
My captain came to me, I want to say last spring semester of last year, and said, Coach, if I could get five or six of the guys to shave, would you start us all at a game? Because I think that'd look really intimidating. And I said, absolutely. So we were on our trip to St. Louis.
We're in a hotel in the middle of St. Louis. Like, there's nothing to do. Like, you can't do anything. And I just threw it out there again, like, hey, we should shave our heads.
Some of the guys got a hold of a shaver, and they started seeing who would want to do it.
So we door-dashed a pair of clippers.
A little bit more, a little bit out.
Spin, little spin, little spin. And shaved him bald. I mean, like no guard, shaved. We went to church the next morning, and it really did seem like the church maybe thought that a bunch of prisoners had been out on leave, perhaps. And it did seem like the pastor was speaking salvation more to their area all morning.
We unload out of the bus and I'm walking in the back. I actually took a picture because they had to wear their team polos, black, and then they all have to wear khaki pants. And then from the back, I was like, I cannot tell who they are. I was like, they all look the same. And as soon as I thought that, I was like, wow, that's kind of the goal. They're getting rid of their own like personalities to be identified as one, to be identified as a team.
We have another fun thing we do, and that is called the shootout shave. Once a month, we have a shootout in practice, and so you go one-on-one with a goalie, and if you score, you're safe, and if you don't score, you have to keep going. And the last guy not to score gets to shave his legs above the knee, and then get a nice picture on campus the next day with shorts on.
Hockey's a game at the end, and we've seen it with all of our kids. Even if you play at the college level, that comes to an end. But it seems to be, to me, especially true with males more than females, that like you can learn things in a sport that you really can't learn anywhere else. And I know that Bjorn is, if anything, like he can take a sport, take a thing of like a worldly thing and make it deeper.
Like, this team's not all about me. It's about my players. It's about my assistant coach. It's about my wife. It's about Jeff. There's nothing about this team that's about me. This is about what God's doing, and we're all a part of it.
Coach Bjorn, like, his two big pillars are like discipline and hard work. So like on the ice, if someone's like talking trash to you, like it takes discipline to like not say something back or not retaliate, because you might get a penalty for that, and then you're hurting the team. And it goes back to that whole like team mentality, like we're all one. It's like you don't want to do something that's gonna like hurt the team. We hold ourselves with respect, and we're not gonna disrespect the other team for our own gain. You know, like we're all pretty humble. So definitely, men on ice would definitely be a good way to describe it. And it's helped in real life too. Like even in my everyday life, I've used stuff I've learned in hockey from Coach.
I think I've learned that success is not always what we want it to be. A little bit of a difference from me in general as a player. I remember coming in being very focused about my own individual stats, whether that was goals, assists, points, wanting to be the guy on the team that was high on the leaderboards, to being able to be a player to not score a point in a game and be okay with that because I did my job and responsibility on the ice and I did all I could for my team in that game. So being able to find success in whatever the Lord's plan is for me that day. A prayer I always try to pray before a game is, Lord, let it be your will that's done, not my own. And I always joke and I say at the end, but if that's a goal, let it be. But if that's not, that's okay. Knowing that whatever is bound to happen by His will. And I am just a part in that, and I'm just happy to be able to play the game that I love and have loved for so long.
I would honestly say it's centered around humility. To me, it's a rare thing out there, humility, in our culture and in our world. But very little can happen outside of humility. You can't get better. You can't have relationships. You can't have respect without humility. And so I think a lot of what we talk about, a lot of what we do is based and rooted in that humility. That's the type of players we look for. And then when you're on the team, we encourage you to be humble so that you can continue to be coached and continue to get better. Continue to try and explain to my players that this is not about me. I love you. It's about you getting better. And so if you will receive that and be able to allow us to help you with that, you will get better and you will get the accolades and you will have success. And that's really what we want. We want you to do well, not just on the ice, but off the ice.
I feel like probably Bjorn and I owe probably like 28 people through this whole county lifetime of favors because of what they've done to help us with this program.
You never know what you're going to get with us.
Come up to us and talk to us. We're pretty easygoing. We're really goofy. Like if you get near the team, you'll definitely see that like we're just nice guys. We're chill.
Come pound on the glass. Come yell at the opposing goalie. Whatever you want, but just come out and enjoy Tiger hockey.
The thing that has made Olivet hockey what it is the Lord. And the Lord started it. And the Lord is involved in these guys' lives, and He's involved in our success any way that it is, and that there is nothing more important than surrendering your life to the Lord and letting Him lead it. There is nothing that will give you meaning and nothing that will give you success and nothing that will help you outside of that. You can chase all kinds of other things, and you will come back to the fact that the only thing that matters is that relationship with Him, and that is the most important thing.
Tigers on 3, 1, 2, 3. Tigers!